All right, what's going on? See if we can get that full down facing me, I guess. Not got anybody in here yet. Fair enough. Don't know if the chat's working in here or not. I don't see anybody joined yet. There we go. What's up, Bobby? I guess the chat is working on OBS. All right. Oh, that's so fun. I like like that. There we go. What's up, Bobby? Maybe everybody is sleeping tonight, not staying up late. I'm not sure. Dang, it's working. There you go. All right. What up, Motown? Cool. So all this stuff's working. Sweet. Awesome. I had to find the cord from when we went to ECC. What up, Rusty? Oh, got people filtering in. What up, Tom? Awesome. All right, guys. So we're going to work on the Warlock a little tonight. I've got to change the servo out in this. It was one of our very first and old Vidar direct power 4S servos. And after 4 to almost 5 years, it finally gave it up. So we are going to change this out to, you can see it, well, not so much. Hold on a second. Up there in the corner, I'll show it to you. Let me get the little body nuts off. There's up there. Body over there. There we go. We're going to put in the Tom Asher's Three Brothers RC 313 Pro. So I seen on the website that he's good direct power, which I already have this set up for direct power wise. So I went ahead and just kept it direct power. And since I mean you can see it here, but since I seen that he's good all the way up to 5S, at least on the website for this thing, we're running 4S in this, so we really shouldn't have, hopefully, too many problems or anything at all. So it's been a while since I really kind of sat down and looked at servos and everything with everybody. I love Ryan at Shift. I run a lot of his servos. Um, oh, I don't even know why I'm trying to take that off. 40 off and sporty. Um, but I love Ryan. I run tons of his servos. We had our own servos there for a long time, which I still run a lot of those. And once I finally started looking around, uh, you know, I seen, Tom made one of the, I guess you could say, higher rated voltage wise for direct power. So I don't know if I really need to take that off or not. So I went ahead and uh, went with Tom's, and I hear nothing but good things about it. I always love Free Brothers RC. They make great product. So kind of a no-brainer. If it was BEC powered, obviously, you have a larger abundance of what you can choose and who you can get them from and things like that. So G13 is hard to beat. Yeah. So that's what I keep hearing. So that is what we're going to go with. Let me see here. I take the tabs off. That way the servo can pop out. So if you guys haven't worked or haven't seen the Warlock here, so kind of see the chassis. We did our chassis with the 12 degrees and everything. I opted for the SS Deluxe axles. Hey, Rez, what's up, buddy? So straights front and rear, and then we just kept it simple when we really designed the Warlock. The scale side of the hobby is amazing. It treats corrupt so great, and we love everybody and anybody that's um that's on the scale side. But when we wanted to come over to the comp side, I didn't want it to be elaborate forward motor mounts and key cases. I've seen a couple of those for some odd reason on the sportsman or sporty side, which I don't understand why anybody would want to do that on this side of the hobby. But so I didn't want to do that. I'll get my ball head one. And I wanted to keep it simple. Simple is good. It's not anything that's going to give you a whole lot of fight and anything like that. So we went simple, we went strong, and we went performance. That's what we wanted. We wanted something that you could build multiple different ways, just like you always can with about everything corrupt. And we wanted it to perform. And so far, it's just been phenomenal for sure. We cannot, thank everybody enough for the amount of love we've gotten already into the comp scene. So from the testing, from being on Capras, from being on SS Lux, there's some couple other ones out there, CP44s, things like that, and the testing's been phenomenal. So we cannot be upset about that for sure. Um, Cross keys, no, I am not pulling from the balance plug. I've never really liked pulling power from the balance plug, just because it's another connection added, I guess, that I don't want to deal with. So if I can, I usually solder it up right through my XT60 or straight to the ESC, which I think I didn't on this one. So this one's going to the XT30, and I literally solder it into that, bring it down with the rest of the wires, and it's good to go. It's one connection, the red to red to red, and it's done. I don't have to worry about another connection to the battery, and then it comes to this, and then to that. You're at another whole spot that something could happen, and that's not the way I wanted to do it. And I used my good Velcro, of course, thinking I would never have to take it back off, but we do. And it is some stout stuff. Oh, there we go. Just need the corner. I really should probably flip that. So put it just so that's always open. So anybody that's planning on building a Warlock, say with SS Lux and things like that, so you can buy the SS Lux comes with, or SS Deluxe comes with just like this. This is exactly what you order off of the website. The carbon on top and all that. This works. They have a couple other options that you can buy to work underneath and all that. But the upper links are going to this far outside and this far outside on the carbon plate here and here. So this one was made always for the link. This one also holds the servo tab in. So you're going through the rod end down into the aluminum servo tab that holds the servo in place. So just in case anybody wanted to know that, the other servo side or the other tab for the servo side's held in this one. It's not a countersunk hole. I just put a countersunk bit and hit it real quick with a drill so I can put a flathead in there so when the battery sits on here, it's nice and level. So just in case anybody was going to possibly look into running the SS Lux, or SS Deluxe, I did on my front. So far, it seems to be working well. Then let's take this off. And then I'll show you some other stuff here from years of being upset and mad after you're done building or setting something up. Hopefully some tools and tricks for you. Ooh, that is stuck in that pivot ball. Whew, there we go. Let's see if I can fish that out. There we go. Then off of that. Awesome. Anybody got any questions on these? Should really didn't even have to take this other link off. For some reason, I thought the servo tab was on there. I wasn't really thinking. Questions on 24th scale Warlock. um, we've got something in the works. It's not a Warlock, but it is going to be wicked. I will say that. And I know sometimes people are like, "Oh, you always say everything's going to be wicked." Um, uh, Let me assure you, this is nothing like that's on the scene, and is an awesome looking and performing setup. So just hang tight on that one. I'm going to put this upper link back on since I didn't need to take it off. Hang tight on that one. That is coming down the pipe. And guys, if you see something on here that you see me like working with or whatever, and you're wondering what it is, ask. All these tools and stuff, I'll tell you where to get them, or we stock them, one of the two. So our drivers were out now. I've got to put more on order. We've sold those for ever so long. They're amazing. They lock your 1/4 inch hex in. Can't come out. Pull it down. You're good. So these are the MIPs, guys. If you don't have the ball end style that are striped, get that. You've seen right help you do it. oh, Tyler, you know. Um, but yeah, definitely drivers. Ball ends are always good. Wrenches, we stock these. These are from Blacklisted. If you don't have one, get one. It definitely helps you a ton. And then something that I just added to my arsenal of tools, if anybody wants to know, uh, are this plier set here. I kept all of them up here so I could show you guys. They are called Van Pliers, like a vampire, but Van Pliers. And they are some of the nicest pliers that you can get. I've got these are just round nose for grabbing stuff, smooth inside, no teeth, spring loaded, wire cutters, snips, also spring loaded, needle nose with teeth and a cutter, also spring loaded. And then these are super cool. They've got like a round jaw here. Try to let you guys see that. Round jaw there, and then actually a concave jaw here in the top and the inside. And what that's for is, say you strip one of these little guys out, it will literally grip on that thing just like this. And you can twist it right out of there. It's got teeth the opposite way inside of the jaw. So, guys, if you don't have these, get these. They're called Van Pliers. Amazon has them. You can go to their website, Van Pliers, and get them. If it would focus. There it goes. So, get you a set of these. Yeah, they are a little pricey, don't get me wrong, but well worth it so far. Can't say anything bad about them. Kind of like John, like I said, it's pricey, but worth every penny. Yeah, there you go. Bobby knows. John, like I said, like a vampire, but not plier. It's plier. So Van Pliers. So hop on Amazon, hop on their website, order them. They make them from small, like we use in RCs, all the way up to full size, gigantic ones, and they are awesome. They have another name I don't know. John Harnley turned me on to these. I think he was turned on to these by Jason at Deluxe. So I'm not sure. These guys, Sean just came on the team. He told us about them. A couple other team drivers bought them, and they said, "Wow, these are awesome." So then I was like, "All right, I got to get in on this." So I bought a set, and same thing. I cannot say anything bad about them. They're awesome. What you sipping on? Rez, that is a Indian black pale lager. It's not an IPA because I hate IPAs. Absolutely hate IPAs. But this is an Indian pale lager. It's jet black. It's not thick though, like some of the other stouts and stuff. But it's one of my favorite beers for sure. Brewed by a local brewery called Sonder, right down the street. Guys, I already took this out, so don't think that they don't come in their foam and everything. They do. Beautiful packaged. Box looks great. The inside when it comes is all in foam and everything looks wonderful. Can't say anything bad about Tom's quality here. Beautiful. On that thing, maybe. I might have. I mean, I've got some twang to me, so so we need to have that one tight. Switch servo horns. If you don't have a servo controller, which I'm about to show you, you definitely need to get one of those too. So for various situations just like this, um, got about another one. Situations just like this, where the SS Deluxe axles are super hard. If you wanted to take the servo horn off, which you pretty much can't once it's installed, um, you need to center this first before that. Can't beat that price too for that G13. Oh, really? It's a great price. I was super impressed by the price of it. I was like, wow, okay. Can't beat that. So, servo controller, guys, something super simple to use. This needs to be powered, and then obviously you're going to need a battery to power this, which we're just going to run it through the BEC, or not the BEC, the the ESC. It should have enough juice to at least run all of that. So plug this in first. I believe we go on this side here. Negative at the bottom. Hold on. Let me get this side. See if it lights up for us. There we go. And then this says manual, neutral, auto. You can go through them. And then what you'll want to do here is signal. There we go. Ground. This way, just like that. And now we got to power the servo through this. There's that. Just to let us center it. So this is all plugged in. It's not normally this much, but be able to, oh, maybe the battery's too dead. Oh, something like that. I think the batteries might be too dead. That's odd. There it goes. Maybe I had that in backwards. Plug this in. Ta-da. Plug that in. I'm not getting anything. Wonder if I got to have the remote on that one. Didn't think I had to on the other one. Ooh, I think it's on the table over there. That's odd. I don't remember having to have any of that. Unless that's dead too. Sorry, guys. All right, let me see. Well, I'm still not going to do it on that either. That's strange. Maybe I've got these mixed up. That might have been on me. Rushing to do stuff. There it is. All right. That was all on me. So now we're in neutral. So once you put this in neutral, you know right in the center of where it needs to be. And then you can put it on auto, which it rotates left and right. Manual, which you can change what you need. We're going to put it in neutral and leave it right there. So now we're good. We know it's in the center. You can unplug everything. Good to go. Sorry it took so long. I do not remember having to have my remote on last time for that. Okay. Late to the party? Nope, you're not late. You're good. What's up, big guy? Haven't seen you in forever. Seen your channel's doing well. Seen you on the news a couple times there, big guy. Oh, let's see. Vampires, badass. Yes, they are. They really are. Yeah, the price isn't really bad, to be honest with you. I was surprised. I bought like the whole kit with those four. It was like $110 or something, if I remember correctly. But well, I can't. Like I said, I have nothing bad to say about them. All right, so we've got that centered. Let's go ahead and put that pretty much straight up. At least that's how I did it last time. Tighten the side down. Let's tighten the front back down. So far, everything's wonderful. Besides not knowing how to do that, I guess. Captain of the Cup. Not this time. It usually is for sure. Usually is, but not right now. We'll definitely sip on some Captain in Maryland for sure. All right, so we're gonna be good there. Let's put our servo tabs on. I usually just kind of tight. And on this axle too, it's super hard to tighten these up while it's in there. So I'll basically kind of push them out a little bit. Is where I think it likes to be on this axle. The servo tabs, that is. That way you can at least get a screw in it. Got it good tighten down. Once it's in there, and then you can kind of match it up. Um, Match it up just underneath, just to make sure it's okay before you really snug the top bolts down, or you might have to adjust these. They definitely don't pull tight all the way to at least the last servo that I had. So we'll see what it looks like in here. Fish that up. And when I did this too, guys, the underneath of that printed plastic underneath, I did have to. Actually, it looks pretty good. I did have to kind of carve it out underneath to allow like the servo horn and everything to feed up in there a little bit nicely. What does the passenger offset? Actually, we did that because it's just a nicer setup with the OD3, or not the OD, yeah, the OD3 transmission. The blue, you could do either or. I mean, you could do a driver side or passenger side. Just make sure you spin your trans accordingly. But I do know some people like the passenger side drop for the twist action. Um, there's something to it that they like it better coming from the passenger side than they do the driver side. So I guess maybe rotation opposite type deal. That looked good. We might be able to get that one. It looks like it. We'll keep this one a little loose right now, just to make sure we get the screw in the other one. Definitely. Oh, that's the larger one. Front link. So this is what I was talking about. The front link comes over, goes through here. The axle's a little rotated right now, maybe. There we go. Just like it. This one. That one feels a little tight. Had to play with this a couple times when building it, but anyway, we're good. It is in the servo horn. We are good. Yep, that looks wonderful. Snip that one down. To be honest with you, the I don't know if it's just for the OD3 or not. Because the huge pins actually are narrowed. This is much, much smaller than the regular huge pins. Decent amount taken out. But get extra plastic piece, trust me, for the underneath or for the center housing. So I've been running the diamonds forever and have never broke a diamond. Knock on some wood. So be honest with you, if it's the printed piece underneath, I could see that. Yeah, for sure. With some beading and all that, it would definitely take quite a bit of abuse. I mean, I know this servo is going to look about 10 years old after about 10 minutes of crawling. That's for sure. And that rod end on that side, it might need a little spacer off. I'm not sure. Keep it off of that. Yeah, yeah, hard to tell on the video, but yeah, they're definitely narrowed. The regular huge pins probably come out to about over here, a little bit wider for sure. Yeah, underneath. All right, thanks, brother. I'll maybe get some more of those on order. But for the OD3, I don't know because the blue steel, obviously, you can get left side and right side. The blue steel only comes in the left side motor. And then the other one you could get, you can get the natural in left and right. So, um, I know Sean built his this way, and then when I drove his, I was blown away at the performance of it. Even though, yeah, the DX44, I've seen those, but blown away by the performance when I drove his. I had built mine with like the pure spider axles that I had on my fifth dimension sucker punch, and we went out there at ECC and we all drove and just the pure spider axles are an older generation axle. They are tanks. I mean, they're still to this day perfectly ready to run, ready to go. But they just not living up to the task of this class anymore, or being able to run with these guys that are running something like this, or CP44s, Capras, and all that. So when you look at something like quality wise from Deluxe and what they're putting out, clearance and weights, I mean, we've got the big weight hangers hanging in there and all that. They just weren't up to the par. So I'm not saying that you couldn't compete with them. There's no doubt about that. But it's uh, it just needed to be updated, and this is what we went with. And after driving Sean's, I was just like, hey, what what's your setup? Let's talk about it. I really loved it. I felt comfortable with it. I felt smooth, and I just basically mimicked his at this point because I really did. I liked his so much that I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna mimic yours, and let's do that, and then I can get used to it driving. Now it is going to take me a little bit to get used to driving straights again. I haven't drove straights in a hot minute, that's for sure. But well, we'll do that later. Man, I really need to shorten this. I hate wires; they're so long. But you can't get mad at the company for making them because not everybody builds them super compact or narrow. Yeah, I really need to cut that down. I need to cut this one down and solder and shrink those. So, I mean, we might as well do it. If we're going to do it right and get it done now, let's do it. Let's get some heat shrink. Don't have giant rolls of heat shrink like this. Get some. Don't be scared. Let's order you some. Cut some of that off. And good to go. And if you're buying heat shrink, guys, word to the wise, I've done this for a long time. Buy the ones that are adhesive lined, triple walled, whatever. Buy you the good stuff that's going to last you if you do it. Take it off or not take it doesn't come off. It's pretty much waterproof after you heat shrink it, that type deal. So um, basically, guys, when I narrow stuff, nothing crazy. That's the heat gun. Let's get the soldering iron going. Kind of mark where I want it. Flinch. There we go. Full. Which motor and ESC am I running? So in this rig, I am running a Holmes VR Mini. I'm running a Team Brood Doomsday Study, basically. It is a smaller can sealed brushed hand wound from Team Brood, and I've had those. I actually had those built custom to run in the Jekylls because of clearance wise and things like that. I run um, Team Brood as much as I possibly can. If I've got the room to fit a Team Brood hand wound brushed, that's what's going in it. I mean, I love the motor. Um, I love the smoothness. I love Eddie at Team Brood. He does great work. No motor that he's ever built me has ever let me down. I have literally tortured a ton of them, and I'm talking tortured. And I don't, after if they do go out, brushes need to be built or rebuilt or put in or something like that. I do that. You can turn the comm down, put new brushes in, clean it really good. If anything really bad happens to it, you can send it in to Eddie. He can evaluate the motor, what's the best option or reason or what you need to do with it, and you can go from there. So, um, like I said, if I can fit a Team Blue brushed, I'm going to. But not all of them have that kind of room, so that is not something that is always available. That's for sure. Some of my Jekyll definitely did not have the room for a full 540 can brushed. So, all right. Yeah, I seen the pumpkin, the smaller pumpkin. I think John may have updated his to that. I'm not sure. But I like the diamond. I'll probably smooth this diamond out on the bottom like I always have on all the other diamonds I've ever ran, just to have no hard lines down there or anything. Yeah, after enough running, they'll do it themselves. But not always. I usually just kind of take the little sander to them or file, nail file, anything, and literally sit there and just kind of sand the hard edges, round that bottom off, and you're pretty much golden after that. I mean, I've seen guys run them till you can see the gears coming through them, literally that long. 5 slots are nice, Steven. Um, I don't particularly like a whole lot of 5 slots just because I like that big snap. 5 slots are made to be very smooth at startup, which they are extremely. And uh, when they're smooth, it's great. But at the same time, the way that the motor is built, 5 slot don't have the torque that the 3 slots do. So if you a little knowledge about motors, the 3 slot and 5 slot as the armature, how many cuts are in the arm and the inside. So 5 slot means there's less arm rotating around, which makes it smoother. Um, so with that, you get a very smooth startup, but you get less snap and you get less hold for like your brake and all that. So if that is something that you like, that's not a problem. But for me, I prefer the more power, more holding brake, and that's that's just me though. That's not everybody's driving style, but it's mine. Okay, it's the best. Some stuff there. Everything wants to flow great right away. One of my team drivers would kick my butt. He see me doing this, so sorry, Kevin. Just move so much quicker this way. Would not be certified, apparently. Very little heat shrink on there. Every one of them. Don't forget it, otherwise you'll be upset. And usually you want to pull the wires enough where your heat shrinks down away from where you're soldering. Otherwise, it'll start to shrink. And if you've got the stuff like I got, then the glue starts being melted and adhesive and that type deal, and it messes you up. Hey, Stu, what's up, buddy? Nice of you to join. There we go. Melted. A little on these. There we go. So pre-tinned and soldered up here for easy connection. There we go. It's all good. Let's try to get it with one shot. Usually I don't have any problems with the small wires, but I'm on camera, so you know how that'll go. Guys, I'm not saying to do this. Um, this would probably void your warranty, so not telling you to do this. Heads up. But I do it. Those are good. Separate all this stuff. The stubby on the CCW as sorry, there's a little heart there as you run. Oh, same as you run. The stubby Tuesday. So if it's an all black one, yes, it is the one that I'm running in here for sure. Those are typically the ones I had built. If there is more custom ones on there, which I've had a lot of motors built throughout the years to stock and whatnot, but the stubby Doomsday all black case with red top is the one I'm running. I like how that one finished off. There we go. It's 35 turn, by the way. I know somebody asked that up there. I forgot to tell you. Stubbies in 30 turns. So stubby in just relation. It's a smaller arm and everything in the inside, so they spin a little quicker. So 35 turn is fairly quick or fairly fast, even though it's still labeled 35 turn. It's still a very hot toddy, I guess you could say. They have some power. They definitely do not care what's going on. Like they're gonna still turn. You definitely have to know trigger control with a stubby on 4S. There we go. Sorry, it wasn't flowing that great. Weird. But yeah, they literally on 4S they'll just keep going. They could care less what's going on around them. And if the tire's stuck or anything, they don't care. They are literally going to still turn. They're going to break something, basically. An axle, wheel, anything and everything. But once you learn your trigger control, you're golden. Know when to stop, know when the truck is under too much tension, uh, anything like that. All right, that looks good. Just checking on them. So when the heat shrink comes down, there we go. Turn your soldering iron on. Turn your heat gun on. Guys, I got this soldering station a long time ago. If you get a chance to ever get one, buy it. It's got the little heat gun. It's got the soldering iron. You can set the temperature. It's got voltage coming out that you can use. Everything. Heat shrink. Perfectly shrunk. Good. Move on to the next one. There we go. Start seeing that adhesive come out. You know it's good. There you go. Set it back down and it'll turn itself off. There you go. You see it? Well, you guys can't see it. The temperature's going down. Boom. Done. All right. What else has everybody got? What other questions? Warlock or CCW related? Hopefully, we still got a decent amount of people. It doesn't tell me how many people's in here, to be honest with you. I don't know if I can pull it up on the old phone here. So I can see how many people are following with us. Maybe. Let's see. 13 watching. Oh, that's okay. I'll take that. You know, it's not like it's a weekend or anything. All right, so these are good. Now we can plug that in. Put this into the receiver. All right, might need to tidy these up a little bit, maybe up here, just to be a little bit more tidy. I didn't shorten them up a ton, or I mean, I didn't shorten them up enough, apparently. Let's see if everything is working correctly. That looks fun. Let's put the screw in, set our endpoints. Always your number one thing to do. Set your endpoints. 12 people. Thanks, Steven. Oh, I probably should. I bought metal rod ends for these, so I stretched it out pretty quickly um, with the old servo. Carbon scale seats. Now, Steven, we did do those at one time. It was it was definitely something that people liked. We actually molded them. They were pretty sweet, really. I might have a couple still left around here that I saved. I don't know. They're probably in a box somewhere. But it was kind of like a one, maybe two times order, and that was it. Like they didn't want any part of molding them ever again. It was, I guess, too time consuming and all that. Uh, so we only got really very small bit out of it. I think we got maybe 15 or 20. And that was the end of that saga or that production. It was the MLC, the same guys that did our bodies when we used to sell the carbon bodies. That was the same guys did those for us. And they did not like making them, that's for sure. Guys, there is an easier way to do this. But we're almost there now. So that looks about right. There we go. What else? What do we got? Guys, after this, I'm going to do the servo, and then I'm going to probably do the lower links. Want to put the come here, the link sliders on. That's a good rod end. Usually don't take that much. But yeah, I got to put the link sliders on. I forgot to do them when I did this build. I think I'm gonna go with titanium. They're also from Deluxe. We stock them on the website too. Um, Literally where the rod end meets the basically where the rod end is on the titanium. There's a little spot right there where there's like a lip. You know, they make titanium pieces that um, help transition that area of the lake. Stay up there. Can hear the surface. Very fast. All right, let's do endpoints. That was stupid fast. Yeah, we're definitely stretching. Go till you almost don't hear it humming anymore. Here we go. Looking pretty good. All right. So that part's done. Might do a simple design like square. Yeah. Yeah, ours was pretty easy. It wasn't a whole lot. It was just, it was so tiny, I guess, or so small, they didn't want to deal with it. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but they didn't want to do them anymore. Right. Well, that was trash. Okay. Now let's do the link sliders. So on the lowers, which is typically the only ones you're obviously ever going to do because it's the only thing sliding. So you want to do where you think you might be grabbing. Fronts, you can do the front of the lower links. Usually the back is what you'll typically be grabbing. So you guys can see like that area right there. But on the front, I like to do both. The rear, really, most of the time I do all the ends just because I just want that transition. If I get up on something, yes, coming up and over, these spots are going to be a lot better for it to clear. But then again, a lot of times that you do have to reverse too, so you don't want to grab these edges. Man, look how nice that servo looks underneath there. Too bad it's going to get all destroyed, huh? I guess I could probably do like a piece of Kydex or something right there if I wanted to, but we'll let it smooth itself. How about that? So let's do so guys, here's the sliders. We do have these on the website also. I should have the titanium ones on there. You can see that. And basically what that does is goes right behind the link, like right here, on the rod end, and then that makes that transition through there nice and smooth and easy. Only bad thing about it is you got to take a rod end off. So if you've got them tuned to where you're pretty good, just you know, make sure you get it back in the same spot, basically. Then you can always add like a little dab of super glue to keep it in place. Um, I always used to do like shoe glue or something like that. That way it could possibly be removed if needed. But That's not always. I mean, I guess not everybody thinks like that, but I think today I might just do a tiny little thing of super glue on there. Sometimes they fit tight enough to where you don't have to worry about that, but um, I'm not sure. We'll see. So I know obviously the links are made from hardcore. The sliders are made from deluxe. Very tight fit. There you go. You can hear that. So might not even need super glue. So that one is on. Rod end tool, Team Garage Hack. Hardcore also makes one now. We've stocked the Team Garage Hack ones for a long time. Let's put some Loctite on that bolt or something. It does not want to come out. Oh yeah, definitely put some of our good Loctite on it, or a thread locker, guess you could say. This back in there. That is another thing too. I think I've used in the past is our red style thread locker, which we are bringing back into the world. We've been working with the designers, so that is something that's coming down the pipeline here shortly. Working as we speak through emails and everything for that. This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. A little bit on there, just like that. Boom. Now I should hold that in place. Wow. The chatty Cathy's. Nobody saying anything. 14 of you in here, and not one person's talking. Come on, guys. You better than this. Archie Will don't shut up half the time. Nobody talking. There we go. Got that one out. Questions? Concerns? Problems? Anything? What you got going on with your rigs? What's going on this weekend? I mean, wrenching, chill, you wrenching too? What are you wrenching on? You just said your truck's amazing. Why are you wrenching on it? Ooh, see, that one don't. Let me try another one just in case. Oh, it's got a little burr on it. Ooh, that was tight. Let's see if I can just thread this on and hopefully push it down. Does not look like it. It might have been. Let's not mess the threads up. Let's see. Phew. One does not want to go on. We'll get it back off now. No, why not? will the DX44 center still work with SSAR44 Diamond? So these are not the AR44 styles. If you're asking generally, will that work? I wouldn't see any reason why not. I believe I think those come with it. But since these are the SS Lux, they are much wider than the AR44 style ones. I don't know if that's pushing it down or not. Looks to be about right, though. I pushed it down right where it needed to be. So that is sitting about right. Usually they slide on kind of like the first one did, so not sure what's up with that. That one was a little snug. I probably could have filed the inside of it a little bit. Maybe it had a decent burr on it, but it looked like the rod end drove it down just enough. Yep, just enough. Give that a good snug. So, if you guys don't use them, kind of see what I'm talking about. Hopefully it'll focus for us. Maybe. Come on. Give us a focus. There you go. That's how that works. So now it's got a titanium edge to slide on instead of just a lip there and all that. I'm building a razor's edge and getting my butt kicked. Well, that's no fun. Building it or what? You having problems or anything? Oh yeah. Yeah. The DX44 is designed just like the Diamond, so you could take your Diamond out and put the DX44 in there, no problem. You should not have an issue with that at all. I think the DX44 looks really, really good. I've seen it ran on a ton of trucks. I just wanted to go with something I knew or I was familiar with, so I just went ahead and went with the Diamond. Drove with the Diamond, like I said, a lot, so it was just kind of like, yep, I'm gonna go Diamond. Yeah, I could be using the drill and stuff for these. I know. I'm just if I'm hanging out with you guys, I don't need to run power tools. I'm not a pit stop, type deal. So just hanging out, having a good time, enjoying some. Wanted 12.3. Feel like I'm getting close. Okay. Links and ride height. Yeah, it definitely, all of them take some tuning. There's no doubt about that. Um, you never just bolt a truck together and go. And if you do, I mean, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer or tell anybody that, but then so did the next guy right next to you, and you guys have matching trucks. What's the fun in that? Nobody likes to have the same stuff. Everybody wants, you know, their own style, their own truck. So every time somebody asks, I want a kit, just build it, blah blah blah, and I'm like, come on, I'll help you out. That's no problem. I'll build it if you want, but you know, have fun, know your truck. Um, learn the ins and outs of it. That's that's the fun part about this hobby. You learn all that, you learn how it works, so when you're at a competition, you you have a chance at fixing it, getting back out there. You don't have to rely on everyone and all that kind of stuff. That's what makes the hobby great. Get out there, work on your own truck, build it, tune it, all that. That's to me, that's the fun stuff. I mean, I'm going to say it now, every big comp that typically goes to with a decent amount of team drivers or the team winner out, the we're building trucks the night before, or we're fixing something we wanted to do. They just haven't had the time. So, most of us have our trucks done and ready to go. Or we're like, all right, bring it over here. Let's get it done. Let's do it. So that's that's the fun thing of the hobby, getting together, making your truck yours, knowing why your truck's doing that, and how to fix why it's doing something you don't want it to do. And um, some people don't want to spend the time to learn that or understand it, and it will hurt you when you do that. That's for sure. I mean, luckily lately I have a great team, wealth of knowledge around me with them, and they've helped me out a million times. And you know, I don't know it all. I know enough to be dangerous, and they definitely. We all put our heads together and figure out why each other's trucks are doing what they're doing. So, and everybody's, even on the team, everybody's truck's completely different. How, Chili's runs is different, how Trace's runs, how different my mine runs. And yeah, Tozuki Ford motor mount. Yep, TKs. Yeah, that was it's like just a hair bigger apparently. That was a thing back in the day, man. Tozuki is still great. Chassis are still very well in competition out there. Nothing bad to say about Ben's chassis and designs and all that. I mean, it was way ahead of its time, that's for sure. Let's see if I can see if I can grab a file and kind of open this one up a little bit. Not typically something that happens, but I guess maybe the diameter of this link's just a tiny, tiny bit bigger. Let me see what I got here. Pack of files. That's square. That's not going to do any good. There it is. A little baby rat tail. Let's see if we can sing this out a little bit. So that helps us all. A little bit. See burrs on there. I don't want to put any oil or grease on it because I don't want it to be slippery. That's right, Red. CCW for life. You already know. You know how we roll. Guys, anybody going to any comps soon? Anything coming up? There we go. Seemed to go down. Let's see. Look at that. Pushed it right where it needed to go. I know Timmy on the team said Apex is coming up, I think. If that's correct, I don't know. Sideways. There we go. I believe I've seen the things out for that. Apex. Yeah, I know he invites me every year, and fortunately, it's just not something I have on the agenda. It's tough, there's always so much going on. I want to make all of them. I really do. I mean, that would be awesome just to make a full year of tripping and comping everywhere. It's just not in the books. It's just a whole lot of money and a whole lot of traveling, and I don't know if I want to travel that much, to be honest with you. Coming up in August, not too far out. Yeah, yep, that's for sure. VA Scalers is Saturday. Okay, all right. 3 weeks to the next one. We've got one coming up here locally on the 30th. Brian, Krupp's team or one of Krupp's team drivers is doing another one at his house. So I can make sure that axle looks good and straight. Yep, that looks good to me. And then hopefully soon I'll have ours done here, and we'll have some people out over at the house and test out the course. We'll see. So far, it's going good. It is a lot of work for sure to sit there and just stack tons and tons. And I don't mean like tons as in like, oh man, that's a lot of rock. No, I'm talking in like weight. I think we've got probably 30 to 40 tons of rock probably on the course right now. And you can reach that pretty quickly with big ones, but we don't really have a whole lot of huge ones. People in Ohio apparently think they're made of gold. So if they've got a big rock, they want a fortune for it. So ours are large to medium size. Man, another one. I'd start going to Delrin here. So they make some in Delrin also. Titanium's a little tight on these. Let's see if the Delrin works any better for us or in our favor. Oh yeah, that's a little bit better. I really hate the mix match. I don't know if anybody's like me, but I hate doing that. I hate titanium on the front and Delrin on the rear. I really like titanium. Got equipment for my rocks. I have an old tractor, or Ford 4000 with a front loader, and it's moved everything that we could ask it to. For sure. She's a little tired through the years of being worked, that's for sure. But that one went on. But she still lifts everything we can fit in the bucket and moves it right on over there. So the fact of the matter, or the problem is everything that we did is basically on a big hill right now. So we're going around the outside of it, and everything is basically on a side hill. And that is the hard part because, yeah, I could bring the tractor, I could bring the rocks to the bottom of the side hill, but Megan and I still have to carry them all the way up there. So it's still takes time. The tractor definitely helps out a lot, and we'll get there. It just takes time. We did a little bit today, but then it started to storm on us, so we went ahead and called it a day. And then we'll get to more of it. I don't know about tomorrow. It's pretty much supposed to storm most of the day, I think, tomorrow, or at least rain. And our land here that we built on is pretty much all clay. So once it rains, everything just sticks. So it sticks to your shoes, it sticks to um, you know, everything. So if you get it on your shoes, and then you go out to go walk somewhere, and we've got a gravel driveway and stuff like that. So if you got it on your shoes, you make it out to the driveway, and now you've got the rocks from the driveway stuck in the clay that's on the bottom of your shoes, and it just turns out to be a absolute mess. You've got 13 pounds of clay and gravel and everything on your boot. It it's not fun. So when it tends to start to rain or storm, we just call it quits, wait a couple days, and then make our way back out there. It's tight. There it goes. There it goes. Hey, we got that one. But yeah, we laid down a decent amount of rock today. We made a couple good uphill breakovers, a waterfall style almost. Um, so it's got like a more flat rock at the bottom. Oh yeah, trying to push a wheelbarrow through that. I tried that once because I was trying. What was I doing? I was trying to move some gravel, I think, Riz, and it had just rained. Yeah, I was trying to do the back patio, and that was before I had the tractor running, the big tractor. And I was like, well, I got this big pile of gravel. I want to put some in the back, to kind of make out the back door. And it made like one pass to the back door. And by the time that I made it back to the gravel pile, the wheels were so caked in clay they wouldn't even spin anymore. They were hitting the frame of the wheelbarrow. So I just like turned the wheelbarrow over and was done. Waited for it to rain like a day or two to just clean the mud off of it, and then I went and put it back into the barn. Like that was the end of it. All right, guys, we got those two on. I don't think those are going to slide. They're very tight. Let's get these last ones. See if I can get them without taking the wheel off, which I don't think I can. That I'll use. The old DeWalt for. There you go. How you used to haul wood? Shoo! Yeah, buddy. You get wood like every other day or every day. That would be horrible. And I would suspect that I mean, it can't be super close to your house either when you go out. It seems like you and Rona kind of really travel out a ways to go get it. So, I mean, that would be not fun. Oh, let's see. Don't lose that anymore. Whoa, throwing tools. Can you guys even see what I'm working on? Move that up. There we go. Oh, you can kind of see. Yeah, that wheelbarrow. Yeah, because I mean, that's your guys' main source of heat in the wintertime. That's about our main source too. But um, tractor, and I bought a trailer made out of an old truck bed that somebody had, or an old half of a truck that somebody had did. So it's an older 60s F 250 or something bed. Got 3/4 ton suspension, axle, and everything on it. So it's actually pretty perfect to pull right behind the tractor, cut down a tree, or go find one of the ones that's fallen that's been dead, cut it up into logs, toss the logs into the bed there. It has a old man aluminum cap on it, and then we call it Cappy. My wife named it, and then we run them back up to our barn area, which this year will be hopefully a little bit nicer. And then I split it either by axe, or if we've got a whole lot or it's really tough stuff, I'll get out the log splitter. But typically, I love just sitting there swinging an axe. It's a good workout. Um, it's just split it a little bit. I think it's way faster, to be honest with you. Obviously, it's not um, everybody's cup of tea, but when you got a good axe, you got a good swing, you got a nice base log, you can pretty much just split for days and not get too terribly tired. Weight of your axe is a big deal. You know, I've got a big one for really testy logs, but most of my other one, it's a 4.5 pound swinger that's custom made. So um, yeah, I had it custom hand forged in Lichtaba by ML Forge, which is one of the top makers of axe heads. And I had him custom make me 3. So I've got a felling axe. I've got a pretty much a splitter that I call my runner, which I split with most of the time. The lighter, the 4.5 pound. And then I've got the big boy that if it needs to come out, it'll come out, and it's at 7 pounds. And they all are made with the same profile, style head, or profile of the head almost. Obviously the meat in the center is different for the splitters from the felling, but it is. I have not had any issues with them. They're amazing. So can't say enough about those guys. Yes, it's pricey, but it's literally a tool made for your lifetime. Like I will never have to buy another axe. Maybe put another handle on it, but I'll never break the head. Um, and that should last my entire lifetime. So kind of like that buy once, cry once. It's exactly what it was. And I also had custom handles made for him too from a friend. His name's Lazar. He he did some custom laminated axe handles for me. Hickory and what was the other species in there? Maybe a mahogany on the outside, or a deep. It's a deeper, darker. Oh, okay, that's not good. Screw literally just broke. The head came off of it. Oh, lovely. We'll get that out in a minute. But yeah, he custom made those for me. I split with them every year, so get them out, oil them up, make sure they're good, make sure the edge is good, and ready to go. That's weird. I've never had one of those do that. See if we can get that out. This is where our vampires come in. Little nub right there. Somehow that head just twisted right off of um that screw, or the bolt. That was weird. But look at this. That's why you buy van pliers. Literally twisting a tiny piece. The rest of that screw's coming out. The DeWalt does make noise, but the camera is kind of on a um. This camera is the one by me that's picking up the audio. it only picks up basically when you start talking. So otherwise, it's kind of mutes itself. If you didn't just see that, that's a 10, 8. So 10 it is. And if you did, like I said, if you just didn't see that, that's why you buy those pliers. That is exactly why you buy those pliers. That literally the head broke off. I pulled the other two out, pulled the wheel, grabbed the ones that I showed you guys earlier that have the serrated round jaws in the front. So the teeth in the inside go this way on this, but actually inside of here, you got teeth that go the opposite way, made to grab for twisting. Pull it right out. Good to go. Let's put the wheel back on and not do it again. At least let's hope. I do have it on pretty high torque. I don't need that much. I was working on the 6 with it. So torque was up pretty high. What up, half Hawaiian? Gotta make a change. Any CCW guru have any new or used voodoo? Yeah, no. I don't run anything voodoo. I'm sorry. Not my cup of tea. Nothing against anybody that does. It's just not my thing. Proline, J Concepts, Huge Pins, HP Rovers. Pretty much the brands that I've run. I have ran some RC full drive in the past, but pretty much the brands I run for tires. Voodoo is not on that list for me. It's not for me. What brand and part number for the pliers? So it's funny because they all have part numbers on them. So this is a Van plier. I know it's weird to hear, but literally like vampire, but Van plier. If it'll focus for us. Maybe. Maybe not. But it's a Van plier tool. Or vampire tool. And this one, oh, I thought it had the part number on it. I guess it doesn't. Oh yeah, VT001-5. 23L. But if you go on Amazon and type in, yep, it is Warlock. If you type in Van Plier, or Vampire, I thought it was Van Pliers. Oh, Vampire Tools. My bad. I thought it was Van Pliers. I swore I read that on their packaging. Losing it. Vampire Tools. Freaking awesome. I mean, you just seen it in action right there. I bought the whole set of 4. Obviously, they make more too. But whole set of 4. It's like $120 or something like that. It's a little pricey, but man, they are super, super nice. Needle nose with teeth in the inside and a cutter right there. Cutters or dikes, both spring loaded. Needle nose with no teeth in the inside, smooth in the inside, and rounded on the out. Also spring loaded. And then the ones I just showed you. So teeth going horizontally and then teeth going vertically also. Made to grab a strip screw and pull them out. So, perfect. You just see him in action, real life. Good to go. Yeah, half line Warlock for sure. Right now we did the servo earlier. I had to replace the servo in it. It was an older servo I had been running for probably close to 5 years, and she finally gave it up after 5 years of abusement, everything. I mean, I abused that thing to death, and it's been on 4S its whole life. So it was used and abused and owed me nothing. So we replaced that with a okay, Vampires by Vampire Tools. That's right. Okay, just making sure. Um, but yeah, so replace that with a Three Brothers G13 Pro. Says it's good up to 5S on his website. It's literally $100 right now, or it's $100 I think to purchase it. And I believe he's got a 4th of July code or something going on right now for some percentage off. So if you're looking for a new high-powered, able to handle at least 4S servo, that may not break the bank on you, Three Brothers, Tom Asher, definitely look into it. G13 Pro, right there. You can see it. That's the box. And let's just for reference for you guys, on 5S it makes 1,010 ounces. 4S it makes 850. And with that 4S plugged in, it was a 0.09 transition or operating speed. So it's super fast, super strong, and good for the high voltage. So, I mean, what else can you want? Now, now Tom is a good friend. I've known him for a long time. Can't say anything bad about him or the company or his products. And then the other great servo brands out there, you've got Shift RC, makes some amazing servos. Pro Modeler makes some super nice servos. You've got Holmes Hobbies. You've got some of the other guys out there. NSDRC. I've got some of Team Drivers on the corrupt team that run them. Not everybody loves that brand, but hey, I've got good guys on my team that are team drivers for them, so I'm not going to leave them out of the mix either. I run one of their little micro winches, and it's done me well for years. So uh, can't say anything bad about that. So it's funny. So the corrupt team has a Three Brothers team driver. It has multiple Shift RC team drivers. It has multiple NSDRC team drivers. And it has a Reef servos team drivers, which you can't leave Reefs out of the equation either. Another great company that does good stuff, that makes super nice products and servos, and nothing bad to say about old Reef himself either. And boy, did he just stack his team lately. You know, he's got Wyatt just joined his team. Who was the other one? I'm drawing a blank. Jim? Is it Jim? I can't remember. But from Losi, joined his team. I mean, talk about a stacked roster. He's doing it right. He's putting the big guys on his team to make sure he pushes the product more. I mean, it didn't take very long for old Wyatt to have some XR or the SCX10 Pro parts coming out of Reef's machines. This bottle's about had it, boys. There it comes. Put a little of this on there. Just something to hold it in place. There we go. Axle looks good. Looks good and straight. Let's put the wheel back on. Richard, that's right. Sorry. Mark, hey. Can't believe I drew a blank on that. Yeah, just put Richard on his team and Wyatt. And I've known Wyatt for a couple years now. Stayed with us last year at Fall Crawl in our cabins in Maryland. Super nice guy. Lots of friends with the team drivers on the corrupt end. So um, talk about somebody that just pick up a remote and go. I would probably never let him drive one of my trucks just because the fact that he would make me look bad with my own rig. So I'm just kidding. I'd hand it to him. There's a lot of people that can do that for me. No worries. There we go. That started. He's back on. Always like to start them by hand, you know. Don't want to be stripping anything. Twist after. Make sure they're snugged. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot Rich's name. That's foolish. Met some CCW team drivers at the Guru Classic in Logan. They were all great to hang out with. Ferryman had a couple of fabulous runs. I got to judge them. Yeah, Tyler's in here somewhere. At least he was. He might not be now. But yeah, Moto, as we call him on the team, he was definitely in here. There you go, 115. Yeah, great, nice, Steve. Yeah, I think that's what I bought. It's something I bought the 4-piece, and then I've seen a couple other sets. They had like a 4-piece and then a solder removal or something like that. I just bought the 4-piece, so whatever it was. I think it was like 99 or something. I can't remember. Thoughts on the deluxe Nessie Class 2 chassis, and what would be your equivalent or better? Thanks. So Frank, the Nessie is a chassis developed obviously by Jason and Adam Nerby, which is another excellent driver that I met a long time ago. Definitely big on the WRCC side. Nerby has been doing that for a long, long time. But Jason and Nerby teamed together to build that rig, and I'm sure more of the deluxe crew helped on that also. But it is a straight axle designed chassis, phenomenal chassis. But you have to know how to drive that chassis. If you are somebody that hasn't been in the scene long enough to drive straight axles like we used to all the time before portals were even a thing, it is definitely a different driving style. It is not just like, oh, there's a rock there, don't worry, I can straddle it and it'll go over it. Portals just barely scrape it or go over. Straight axles are a different technique when it comes to driving. Um, and you have to learn that. So the Nessie, I've seen Nessie on podium at national events. I've seen Nessie on podiums at local events here. There's definitely nothing wrong with that chassis. It is a awesome chassis. It is a performance-driven chassis, but it is a chassis that makes you drive. You better be able to drive if you buy a Nessie, for sure. The equivalent to ours, or our equivalent, I guess you could say. So the Nessie is more a centered skid style setup. It can be done as a forward skid a little bit, but it is more of a centered skid. So I would say our Ninja would be right there with the Nessie. And our Ninja has competed with the Nessie since day one. The Ninja was out before the Nessie. It might not have been, no, it was definitely testing before the Nessie, but it was out before the Nessie. It was on podiums, and then it still runs with the Nessies to this day. Ninjas, if you were at the Guru Classic, Ninja took podium there, first place, in 2 different categories. Ninjas take podiums pretty much everywhere. And it's still a great chassis, even though people are all stuck on a good night, Raz. Good seeing you, brother. Thanks for hanging out. Uh, but the Ninja is still very competitive. It's a center skid. Everybody's stuck on the forward skid right now. That's the new hotness. So definitely, I would never rule the Ninja out on any competition that it's in. It is such a planted platform. It side hills like a monster. It drives like crazy. It climbs anything you want to point it at. It's just you have to know your truck. You have to be able to drive. That's the main thing about RC crawling is drive. Know your truck. Drive it, drive it, drive it, drive it, drive it. Tune it, drive it, tune it, drive it. If somebody comes to a competition and they said, "Oh, I've been driving this truck for 3 years," that's the guy you want to watch because he knows what that truck's going to do. He knows how to drive it. He knows where it needs to be when he's coming up over a breakover or coming down on a side hill or something like that. That is who you want to watch for sure. Um, I would definitely say the Ninja is never outruled, and if somebody's running it, it's definitely crazy. I still love my Ninja to death. I still have it over there. I built the Jekyll when we designed the Jekyll. It's a very forward skid chassis. Since it's the new hotness, that's what I ran and that's what I've been running, and I'm still tuning it to this day. So it's tune and run, tune and run, tune and run. And the same thing, I had almost 3 years in the Ninja of tuning and running. And right when I felt so comfortable with the Ninja, I could slap it down. It didn't matter. I knew what the truck was going to do and running. That's when we developed the Jekyll. So it just started all over again. So finally getting the Jekyll right where I feel like it should be. And then now it'll be more running, little itty bitty tuning, more running, a little itty bitty tuning. So that's how this works. And that's the way this hobby is. If chassis are tested, should be tested at least 1 year before they're even released, to be honest with you. That's how you know it's tested. That's how you know it's performance driven. It's how you know it works. They've got all the everything figured out in it and such. So we test ours as long as we possibly can, but we also have to do it to where we don't want to be left behind either. So this past year, the year before, and this year so far, the hobby has just went so crazy fast that we'll put 4, 5, 6 months in testing with 5 or 6 of us, 7 of us building them, and we torture them. We make sure it's good. We figure it all out. Test, 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 test as much as we possibly can, and then if we all agree that it's good, it doesn't need any more changes at the 6th, 7th month mark, we can start looking into put it in production for everybody. So, um, that's the name of the game. That's why we try to release everything perfectly or everything that we possibly can as ready to be released as it possibly can be. So, that's just what we do. Honestly, we'll probably get better with Wyatt. Of course, Wyatt brings so much to the table. Why wouldn't it? Thoughts on Reaper V2 with F10 portals? It's beautiful. I love the Reaper V2 with F10s. That's what my Reaper over there is. It's on F10s. My Ninja's on F10s. My Jekyll's on F10s. Every scale comp rig that I have built right now is literally almost on F10. I think almost all of them are, other than maybe my class 3. But yeah, Reaper V2 with F10s, I mean, it was designed for it. It's designed for everything and anything. The Reaper V2 is a Swiss Army knife of the crawler world. You can put straights, you can put portals, you can put deluxe transmissions, axial transmissions, you can put Team Garage Hack forward motor mount with Team Garage Hack creeper. I mean, you could literally 2-low transmission. I mean, you could go crazy with the Reaper. There's so many options that fit in that vehicle or in that chassis. It doesn't matter what you have sitting on your workbench, it'll probably work. I mean, it is literally the Swiss Army knife of the crawler industry or crawler world, and it will flat out perform if you give it the time to tune. It is still to this day a performance competition podium hitting monster, and it's been released for 5 years now, I think. four or 5 years, and it still hits podiums every weekend. Reaper is still doing this. Razor's Edge still doing this. So, it's the same way. It's awesome. Loaded dice wheels on your Warlock. If so, what size hubs are you running? Michael, I am running loaded dice wheels. And on the front, I believe I'm running 475s on the stubs. I'd have to go back and look. I can't remember, but I think that's right. It's either that or 475s on the rear. I'd have to look. But yes, loaded dice are in the front. Bigger weights. Tungsten everywhere. So I opted for brass top and bottom on the arms. I have the brass knuckles with the tungsten slugs in the inside. And then I have the loaded dice with the tungsten all the way around, for sure. $725s. I don't think I got $725s on mine. $725 is massive hub. I think it was 475s with a 4mm spacer between the loaded dice and the knuckle. I think that's where I'm at on the front of this. But guys, so you can see all of the link sliders are on now. So if you don't know about those or don't run them, it's definitely something to look at. Those are the titanium versions. I put them on all the lowers. Fronts in the front, fronts in the rear, same. Rears in the front, rears in the rear. So these are all smooth transitions now to come over the rocks. No more lip from the rod end to the link. Super smooth. They do fight you if the link is a little thicker, but they'll go on. No worries. But yeah, there's the Warlock. Nothing crazy. There's that big, beautiful G13 Pro sitting back there. You can see that big B, 3B, full steer. There we go. And then that is done and where I wanted it to be. And then the little body, I did like that, or I tried, and then say, I'm not going to say I did, but I tried that comic book style paint job, just took an acrylic paint marker, kind of painted these lines like it was being drawn, and then painted it white. It doesn't look that wonderful, but it's definitely a style that you have to work at to know. And I did buy like the I moved this maybe, I don't know. I did buy like the brush tip, so it was a little more than I thought to do it with that. Thought it would actually work better, and I'm not sure it did. Thank you, sir. Oh, no problem. Hey, I'm here to help anybody. Got any questions on the Warlock, on the setup, chassis from Corrupt, anything? Yep, feels good. It's got good fluid motion, except for that link there. That one's kind of rocking out a little bit. Maybe that will tweak in just to make sure. Axle still straight. Yep. Good. There we go. All right, guys, let's see. 10:48. That's what we got. We still got what, 13 people in here? What else you guys got going on? I do have some wheels I need to glue up. Take gun, stuck to it. There we go. Got another set of berries, custom wheels for the Spote. We need to glue the little printed pieces onto these. Oh, is glued on? Oh, there it goes. Stuck in there. There we go. Need to glue these onto the carbon and those onto the back. Well, I don't know if that was supposed to come off. Oh yeah, it seems like it is. Maybe. I think this just sits in there. Yeah, that seems right. And that one clamp to that. Keeps it inside. They fit. Yep. Looks like it works. Good. Heading to bed. Night. Y'all see ya, Chili. I'd say, but I'm surprised most people are still just kind of sticking around. Guys got questions? Let's talk. If we're here, let's talk. Glue these on. Put these wheels together. We won't do the foams and all that tonight. We're just gonna glue these on. Leaves. Let's see how this goes. Just like, not sure, like, so there's like, there it is. Yep. Just put a little glue on those and then set them in. I do one at a time. Just like, maybe. Okay. Easy enough. See you, Kang. Old Scooby waiting for his CCW mutt dog bone chassis. I'm not sure what that means, to be honest with you. Not sure at all. But let's see. Get some blue tip. There we go. Blue bottle. Most Ford skid class 2 chassis worth looking at. You mentioned Ford skid craze. So our Jekyll and Hyde, Frank, is definitely our most Ford skid. It is crazy performance driven. It has been dominating everywhere that it goes. I mean, we designed that chassis. It runs the same transmission and the same T case that we run in the Ninja and the Katana. And wow, is it a performer? It extremely forward skid. It's got 12 degrees of breakover. It has 20%, 26% underdrive to the rear. It has uh, titanium links, obviously. It's got our fish skid. It comes with a CMS. You can buy the whole kit. It comes with a forward transmission. It comes with a T case. It comes with a skid with no screws on the bottom, so not to get hung up. It's just smoother or super smooth and clean. It comes with the links. Obviously I think I said CMS, but the dual servo mount. It comes with the panhard mount. It comes basically ready for you to put axles, shocks, and electronics, and then it's ready to go. You can pay to have it built. and shipped to you ready to basically just put the axles and electronics and shocks on it, or you could buy shocks and have the shocks, and you can buy the axles from us and have the axle. You're going to have the whole thing built and basically just put your electronics in it when it gets there. We can build the shocks, we can build the axles, we can build the whole chassis kit, everything. But if you like to build, which I do, it's a super fun kit to build. It is definitely um, worth looking into. It has been a phenomenal chassis for us here at Krupt. It is unbelievably uh, crazy what that chassis can do when it's set up properly. It is it's a feat of crawling ingenuity, that's for sure. I've seen him do some just wicked stuff. Just even being the creator, or with the team, being somebody that has seen that chassis so much, it still blows my mind to see what people can do with it to this day. It glue one, so my finger's not in the glue. Touched it in there. No glue or not. Okay. Yeah, just put too much glue down. Oh, his butt dog. Oh, I got you now, Steven. Yeah, I got you. Dual servo mount for the Razor's Edge. It should be 70, not 78. I would not run 78 on the Razor's Edge unless you want it to be square and you're running a 78 uh, skid. That's the only time I would run a 78 dual servo mount on a Razor's Edge. I would run a 70 before I would run anything else. Razor's Edge can be pinched in just like the Reaper and all those. So you can run a 78 skid. You can pinch the front to 70 and it'll still be fine. No problem. It's some activator. Dual servo mount, obviously, in the Jekyll is way smaller. The Jekyll is a very narrow chassis front and rear, so um, the dual servo mount for the Jekyll is 64 millimeters. The Ninja, Katana, and Reaper are all 70. And then we made the 78 back in the day for like the battle axe and things, but some people still like to run a squared chassis. So if you're running a 78 skid, they want the front to be 78, so it's square all the way down. So it's a lot of people still run it like that, which there's no problem at all. I used to run all mine like that for the longest time, and then I started to want to get a little bit more. Man, it's either not a lot of surface area or there's too much glue or something. But then I started to want to pull my shocks in a little more, and then we started doing the 70s. And at that time, that was narrow, um, but not so much more these days. don't know if I'm supposed to maybe glue this all the way. I don't know if this will do that. Just line it up somewhat. Definitely don't lint the edges all the way. There's a gap between all of them. I think we're good. This glue takes forever. Another glue take that long. Leave this sit there. This needs to be glued onto here. Normal to pinch the rear as well? Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. It is normal to pinch the rear. Not to get in, just kind of smearing it without squeezing it. Go. That one went in good. Should be set good. Some weight on it. There we go. Screw in there. It's cool how that works. This one again. Oh, I came out on that one. So that one's gonna be glued real good right there. Yeah, that one's glued. What else, guys? Come on now. Like 11 of you in here, 12 of you in here. What else we got? These are sporty wheels. Trying to get glued up here. I think I'm gonna try dabble on these first. So kind of help it stay in place a little bit better. Maybe. Yeah, definitely wish I had a can of activator. Would have sprayed the part before setting it down. It would have locked it in right away. I have a set of your first shock hoops. They look like double-sided X. Man, uh, those were the rears. Yeah, yeah, the rears. Those were old school, man. I still have some of those too. I have a pack or two of them laying around. Like I always wanted to maybe put them in a frame or something, back in the day, kind of the start of Corrupt. Um, we started with those, and we started with um, the links and such that I did. So yeah, it was definitely different times back then for sure. hobby has changed so much. It's crazy. We did the links and um, spacers back then. I was doing those, the braces, and people wanting those things left and right. I was, man, I was making those every night. I'd go to work, I'd come home, I'd eat dinner, and then I'd go downstairs and I'd work all night long making those, trying to fulfill the orders and such. And then now corrupt is what it is. It's crazy the amount of work that I used to do back then. It was just nonstop. Luckily, I was still young and able to handle it because I don't know if I'd be able to do that right now, to be honest with you. I mean, I would go and go and go and go. Heck, I'd drive the semi during the day for FedEx and then make sure none of this glue is getting through down there. But I'd drive the FedEx semi and I'd make deliveries and everything all day. And then if I had a break on lunch or if I didn't have any stops to do, I'd sit there and I'd have a bag of those links. Like I had glued the insert in them. And I usually had to tap them to clean them out, links and braces. And I'd sit there in a truck with a tap and with a handle and just clean those out, on break. And they'd be all inside the truck and I'd vacuum it out when I got back to FedEx. But I mean, it was nonstop work as much as fast as I could make them and as many as I could make. It was still not enough. And back then it was still straight links. Everybody was still running straight links, so everybody still wanted what I was making. Wow, this stuff does not dry quick. Don't like that part of it. Thought I'd try a new glue. I had ordered tips anyway, and then these came up, so I looked at it, and it's that SXT Ice Premium Tire Glue. I mean, works good once it's dry for sure. Boy, it is not quick. Yeah, that's on there pretty good. Just gotta be patient, I guess. Yeah, that one's on there pretty good. Let it sit and dry. Say these are probably good. Yep, that's definitely on there. Not coming off. Yep, yep, that was pretty good too. Nice. They're glued on. I'll wait for these to tack up. Look at that, still just sitting there. Looks like it's melting the plastic, which it might be. Sure what was glued to that thing. Yeah, something on it to keep some weight to it. Want that to be glued to it. Too big. Had the cookies and cream. Yeah, land shark. Yeah, for sure. Cookies and cream was cool because that was something unheard of back then. It still is actually to this day. Nobody else has done it that I've ever seen. So we definitely did a cookies and cream edition land shark. I think I did a battle axe at one time, but not a lot of them because the battle axe was more geared towards trailing at that time. So, but yeah, it was something very cool. It was probably the lightest chassis ever made. I mean, they were crazy light. It was 30% lighter than solid carbon, if I remember correctly. Hey, no problem, shooter, buddy. I mean, anytime. If I go live, I'm on here just to chat uh while I'm working. So it could be about corrupt stuff. It could be about just the hobby in general. It could be about guns. I mean, it could be about anything. I mean, it's this old boy is into a lot of stuff and does a lot of stuff. So uh, I enjoy it. Have a good time, and if anybody needs help, I'm more than happy to help them for sure. Leave that sit on there. This one glued up fine. Just took it a little bit. Seems to be pretty good. That one's a little loose. That one's not. That one needs some glue in it. That one does too. I need to go by and give it another little hit. Go. That dry on those. 13 people. What else everybody got? Somebody's watching me. What other questions? Screws out of here. Get your hands on. No, I didn't do. I haven't purchased an optic just yet. We've got so much going on here right now. It just design wise and the other things that we're wanting to do. So optic is not on the board right now. We obviously did the VDR or the VRD, right? The stance and all those. So we did those. The Battle Axe 2.0 went great for those. So I don't know. We're just kind of going to stay with that for right now. It's just to keep creating something new for every chassis that ever, or every vehicle that everyone's bringing out all the time is just it's crazy. Like there's no one that can keep up with that. There's just unbelievable amount of R&D and time. And if somebody puts a chassis out so fast after it's made, it's just the design is probably not right or the testing wasn't done. It's a headache to do all that. I'm not gonna lie. It's not something that's easy. It's not something that you could just sit there and do overnight and nail it on the first shot. It is not a quick process, and a lot of times it's not a cheap or it's actually a very nerve-wracking process because you thought you had it, and then something else comes up, and it's not where it needs to be, or not doing what it should be doing, and back to the drawing board. You cut another one, or you print a part, and it takes a lot of time to make something different than just, oh, here is this rail. It should bolt up, and it's good. You can't just make something that brings the same performance to the table as the factory. You have to gain a performance edge somewhere. Otherwise, why make it? That was my always thing. If you design a chassis that literally puts everything else in the same exact place, um, it's obviously going to be a direct swap at that point. But if you put everything back in the same place, you don't give any other options. Maybe you just change a little flare or something on the chassis here and there, and you're not gaining any performance. What's the point of even making it? Why sell it? Why try to get people into it and then they don't gain anything from it. So yeah, I don't know. It's That's why we take time. That's why we make sure we bring performance to the table with a little attitude, is what we like to say. Elijah, how big's the backpack going to be? So the last backpack, I'm trying to get about a half a size bigger, I guess you could say. So I think the last backpack, if I remember correctly from way back in the day when we did it, I want to say it was 17 to 19, what they call liters when you design them of what it can handle. I think the new one is going to be around 25 to 26, depending on how that height measures out and all that type deal. So I still want to have the same forward front kind of pouch to put the truck in. It's always worked great for us. Everybody loves it. I think I want to do the backpack and just bring a little bit more height into it. So allow people to get some stuff. If I can get a little bit more width into it, I will, but I don't want to do anything that's really big if you go trailing through the woods. That's what our backpacks are for. Some of the other competition makes backpacks that are like to go to college or to go to school. I mean, it's super wide, it's super bulky through the woods. Why in the world would you want to do that? It blows my mind. So why would you want a super wide backpack that's super heavy and then you want to strap a truck to it or hang it on it and then walk through the woods? I mean, that just it's like trying to carry a shipping box between trees in the woods. It's just dumb. I don't understand it. So we're trying to make it as small, compact slash large enough to carry everything. So it's a fine line between there. And I've got woods in the backyard. Once I get some prototypes made and done, we'll pack them as full as we can and put a truck on there. And I'll go through the woods and see if it's getting grabbed or pulled. What's working, what's not. How's it feel? Is it pulling back? That type thing. So uh, all that goes into the backpacks and testing. So the fabric we don't have to worry about. We know the fabric is tough that we used on the last backpacks. There is zero doubt on that. That is good. I know the zippers are good. Um, I know the hanging portion is good, or the truck holding portion is good. So we want to make it a little bit bigger, but not too big. So I know we'll make it bigger, and people will still want something bigger again because they'll look at the competition and be like, "Oh, that guy's got his laptop in it. He's got all of his tools. He's got tire glue, spray glue. He's got two Milwaukee drills and three trucks hanging off of it. That's a backpack." And you're like, "Okay, that's dumb. Why would you want that? You're basically driving everything in your truck, and putting it in your backpack and going." So that's foolish. Um, that's not what a trailing backpack is supposed to be. And if you're putting it on, taking your truck down there 20 feet and setting it down and getting your truck out and comping all day, it is what it is. You don't really have to worry about it. But ours were a trailing backpack. They were made to pack the essential tools, some protein bars, some water, um, some parts if you need them, and then boom, head off into the woods. You could go, and batteries. You could go trailing all day. If you broke a part, hopefully you had it, or you had some hardware, you got the tools, fix it, um, put it back on. And if you couldn't fix the truck, you could put it on your back. It holds it, and you walk back out. It's not something that you were supposed to carry everything that you carry in your Milwaukee pack out in. So it was made to trail. It wasn't made to travel. I guess you could say. But that's just how I've always felt with the backpacks. Not everybody feels that way, so but it is what it is. So to answer your question, I'm trying to go about a half size bigger and hoping that's big enough to allow people to put more stuff in it, but not too big to where you're going to college. or you're going to high school. You're like the young kid with two trapper keepers in his backpack. First day of school, you know. Set on there. Let that dry and do its thing. There we go. Oh, that's what I already did. Been working on a buggy chassis for the Jekyll and Hyde. I can't wait to share it with you guys. That's pretty cool. I'm yet to see anybody do that. That'll be pretty cool. So, like a moon buggy chassis, or just a buggy? I guess it wouldn't really matter. I guess you could call a moon buggy chassis a buggy, and vice versa. Ooh, a lot of glue came out on that one. Oh boy, stuck to the mat. Ugh. Oh, now it's stuck to me. Here we go. Always the last one. Oh yeah, got me some glue. Always the last wheel. That last little drop of glue I try to put on there, which poured it out. It'll make me stick to it. Stuck to the table, probably. That's it. Trapper keepers. Just saying. You know, that's what I always like picture. You know, some of the people that always wanted to talk about backpacks and they weren't big enough. And I'm like, you know, you're not putting all of your leather CD book in there and your trapper keepers and oh, man, get some glue down. Not off of this one. It was off of the other one. But, you know, you're not hauling all of that in there. It's a trailing backpack. It is not a I'm going to school with all of my stuff backpack. Wish people would remember that sometimes. I get it if that's not what you were looking for and you were wanting something different. I get that. But that's not how that should be. Yeah, that was still it's crazy. Glue's garbage. Do not like that glue. We get grab bags of scrap carbon. I used to do that. I used to sell bags, and I mean, they would be like 2 or 3 pounds of all the scrap pieces I would cut out. You know, that would be in between things when I cut them, and I mean, it would be G10, it'd be carbon, and I would just start tossing them in there, and and then I would once it got full, the whole bag would get full. I'd put it on the website, and I'd say, you know, scrap carbon, different colors, G10. It could be red carbon, blue. It could be red or blue G10. I mean, it was full of stuff. People bought them, but I ended up, just kind of tossing the small pieces a while ago and never went back to just bagging them all up. Ace Logic CD albums for the win. You know it. Backpacks, I don't know. You'll know when they're available, Eric. Whenever I get to design or finish designing them up and when we start testing them out. You'll see it in the chat for sure. The new Sorka rules. There's always going to be people upset with them. I mean, when they first came out, talk and they took away case points and stuff. Oh, I should probably take that. Guess I need to add more glue onto these. When they took away like the T case points and stuff, I was upset. It kind of sucks. It kind of took the Jekyll and Hyde, the katana, and all that away. Not performance wise, but from the view of somebody that's researching, I guess you could say online. That's what kind of upset me about it. So when I looked at somebody that's going to be researching on what chassis to run or their next move on what to purchase, so the guy's going to look at, say, the ninja, the Jekyll and Hyde, the katana, and they're going to go, "Wow, that looks beautiful." Hopefully, and I hear really good things about it. But then they're going to go, "Oh well, it's got a forward trans and a T case, three dry shafts, but it's not gaining me any extra points." It's keeping the motor down low, which is great for performance, but it's also adding a lot more moving parts. It's adding a lot more spots that a problem could possibly arise or come from. So it kind of, I feel personally like it would stray them away after that because then they might look at something else and say, okay, well, this has just got a center transmission. It's getting the same amount of scale points. The motor is more centered, maybe not as low, but is that a give or take with the extra parts? Is the T case and extra dry shaft, dealing with that or dealing with a full forward transmission like on the Jekyll or the Ninja, the Katana. Uh, does the motor being super low outweigh the simplicity of a center transmission? You know, so all of that went through my head when it came into those rules being introduced and uh, released and such. Right now, this time of year, it's hard to really gauge what the rules did. Um, Sales are always low at this time of year, no matter what. It's the middle of the comp season, but everybody's building. Not everybody's building something new or doing a whole lot of drastic changes. So this is kind of our time to R&D, get new things designed, try to get them out there, uh, testing and getting them ready for the release of build season, when winter starts coming around or something like that, the end of the comp season. So we'll see when it comes to build time if those rules really did hurt the Ninja, the Jekyll, and the Katana. Obviously, you could run any of them without the forward trans and the T case. You can run it with a center trans. It's all set up to be able to run like that also. But our draw was the super smooth forward transmission, super smooth T case, and you gain T case points. Motors down low with the forward transmission. Uh, Gear ratios were great for portals, and 26% underdrive to the rear. So all of those were in our favor. There's still a lot of people that are going to run it. It's a beautiful setup. It's one of the best on the market if you're wanting to do it for trans and T case. It's just so stupid smooth and it's stupid strong. Um, it just, depending on how somebody portrays that when they look at it online, uh, is going to be what the determining factor of how we see how the rules helped or hindered at the time of the build season, basically. So rules wise, it's hit or miss with me. It's off and on. Yeah, it's great to see them pushing the hobby, doing what they do. Great people on the board, trying to do a good thing and trying to bring uh, a level playing field or a better assessed rules, I guess you could say, to the hobby. It's just no one, it comes down to it. No one in the US likes change. Typically, they don't like being told what to do, they don't like rules. So as soon as you add more rules, everyone gets butthurt and upset and uh, wants to cry about it. So, but it is what it is. Rules are out. We take it in stride and we keep on moving. You know, you do what you can do, and that's it. Hey, I got one finally glued up. Well, almost. It's almost dry. Good enough for to keep it in place. A little glue on there. Thing you never see the carbon other than the inside. So yeah, Elijah, it's hit or miss. It's I love seeing them trying to push the hobby. They definitely, I think, felt the last one a little bit more from the vendors than typical. There was a lot of upset vendors because of some of the rule change. So I think now that they have allowed us vendors to come in and chat with them, we don't get them obviously vote on any of the rules. We don't get to tell them no or yes, but we at least have a chance to argue why or why not something should be done. Um, and at least gives the designer portion of the hobby, the manufacturers, a voice and throwing an opinion out there of what that might do to already made products or products in the testing phase or newly released products. So, um, sometimes those guys can't think of everything. So when they read or rewrite or write a rule, it's not always it. It's always meant to be good, and it's always geared to be good and helpful for the hobby. But sometimes they don't always see it from all perspectives. I mean, no one can. That's super hard to see it from every possible angle. And sometimes somebody else coming in with, say, new eyes or a new thought process or something is able to help you out in that aspect. So I think them allowing the manufacturers of the hobby to come in and chat with them, or if they say, "Hey, we're thinking of possibly doing this. What do you guys think? What do you guys think is the pros and cons of doing that? How is that going to affect anything, or something like that?" So then, hopefully, they can kind of see a perspective coming in from a manufacturing standpoint or from a designer standpoint, going, "Hey, yeah, maybe that might hurt, so this person with their chassis because this and that, or we don't think it should be worded like that. Maybe this," and then they kind of get another idea or another thing, I guess you could say, or another thought on it. So, uh, like I said, I think the last set of rules that they put out, there was a lot of backlash from some of the vendors, and I think that's why they opened that up now for us to kind of come in and chat, because you could literally cripple a company in two rules. I had it done before this circuit board that's now. There's been a lot of change with the people, but they crippled the original Jekyll and Hyde. It was released. It was legal per their rules. I checked with a former Sorka board member. He said 100% legal per the way the rules are written. I released it. It was mid-year. They couldn't do anything about it. It was legal all the way till the end of the year. And when it was time to change the rules, they changed it, and they literally put a rule in there for the Jekyll and Hyde, the original one that outlawed that chassis. And then as soon as they outlawed it, it tanked. I mean, it was nobody wanted it. I mean, there was an outrage of people that had it because they loved it. It was way ahead of its time at that time. I mean, it was getting ready to just go nuts. I had so many things designed for it and so many ideas to do with it. And as soon as it tanked, it took all the wind out of the sails for that chassis. So it ended up just being like a re-release during Christmas time, and people could order them up at that time. And um, people that weren't running Sorka were still running them overseas, Norway, Guam, all those. You know, those guys were loving it. And Hawaii, I think, had some guys that were running them. And you know that I'd already dealt with that once, and I didn't ever want to deal with it again. So hopefully, with the outreach of letting manufacturers in, we won't get to that point again. Let's hope. So I really don't want to go through all that again. It is literally a devastating moment to sit there and design a chassis up, watch it perform, watch it just do crazy awesome stuff, and then just get it taken away, basically. Literally get it taken away. Heartbreaking, really. You spent, oh wow, I touched it right on. You spent all the time doing what you thought needed to be done, what was going to be super cool for the hobby, and got shut down. Going moon buggy style. Remember, I had one of them back in the day. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Reaper was sweet, or the Jekyll and Hyde, the original one was awesome. It still is awesome. There's still people that run it. It's legal now, so people brought them back off the shelves. It was pretty cool to see because people had like put them up as like a keepsake, and they were like, "Oh, I never want to get rid of this. This is always going to be with me." And um, you know, they were super excited to still have them, and then they released the rule set, and then they were legal all of a sudden again. So people were bringing them back up off the shelf, and they were like, "I cannot wait to run this again." You know, I loved this truck, so it was cool to see and hear for sure. Need a little thicker glue for these next time. This'll work. As long as none of it comes out, we're good. Seems to be doing all right. This one's got it. That's good. Just drying. OG Jekyll and Hyde in the bag still. Do you, Elijah? That's awesome. It was. I still have my original Jekyll and Hyde that was the one that made everybody mad, including Sorka. Um, it's still built and sitting over there, so um, can't can't be mad about that at all. I kept it built. I kept it the way it was, just so it's remembering. Obviously, that time of the hobby. That it was sweet. It was something that I designed that literally broke the mold and made people upset. It just literally made them write rules to outlaw it because it was just doing cool stuff. Phenomenal stuff. Can't be upset about that at all. In the bag. That's crazy. Yeah, yeah, who said that? Elijah? Yeah, in the bag, yeah. And if it's a titanium one, people back then they were in awe when you could take a torch and rainbow them. It's titanium. If you get it hot enough, it'll rainbow in color. So you could tell a titanium Jekyll and Hyde when you looked at it from the side and it was all rainbow colored, like you see like the exhaust tips and mufflers and all that. So it was gorgeous. And at that time we were still working with Spider Pig. So we had titanium rotors. We had all kinds of cool titanium stuff, hook and cool times, fun times, really. Different times. It was different, but it was so much fun. The hobby's coming back around to that, I think, right now. We definitely hit a spot to where it was really pushing people's patience in the hobby. I think, at least locally, we're going to start. I think I see it coming back around to where it was. Luckily, some locals started building courses. Brian Johnson, one of the team drivers, myself, uh, James, um, Bull Ring, RC, Hamilton Hobbies, all of them have local courses. So since Brian started building his, I started building mine. Bull Ring's going to start doing some outside. So now that we'll have like an area to travel around, we could start bringing that back. That getting together, you don't have to run Sorka rules. It's not a national big event. So getting together, still obviously I'm gonna still drive Sorka legal trucks no matter what rule set they go. But just getting together, having fun, getting hazing each other like, oh well, so and so's up. I guess I'll go to the bathroom because he won't be done anytime soon. Anything, getting on each other while you're crawling. That's the fun. Getting together with your friends and just having a good day all day, just relaxing, laughing, joking, trying to drive a small, tiny truck through some gates, and it's just a great time. And we had that a couple weeks back, and it really did bring the old time feeling back, and it was so awesome to feel that again. It was something that I had been missing for a long time here locally. So hopefully we're going to continue that with Brian doing great things out at his place. Us trying to get our crawler course done and having people over, having basically the locals over, and just getting together, crawling, and enjoying that time together again. Because man, I mean, we would do it all day long, and it was so much fun. I mean, that's what got me into this hobby. That's what kept me in this hobby. That's what makes me want to stay in this hobby. I mean, it's that camaraderie that we had back then. I know what it was like. I know what it can be like. So if we can get it back, I'm all for it. Well, that didn't work. Did I miss it? Well, it flipped it in. I don't know if I need to glue those. Toxicity chassis. Yeah, spider pigs. Old Derek Johnson. He doesn't do much into RC crawling anymore. I know he was into planes there for a while, and then he started making his own bourbon, maybe, or beer, or something. And maybe if I could just get that going. There we go. Started. So yeah, I mean he doesn't do much anymore, but Blacklisted RC does some titanium stuff. Stainless wrenches, which are like what Derek used to produce. I don't know how far that's supposed to go. It's definitely tight. It's not as tight there. Oh, it's tight. Let's see. What am I missing? I have Spider Pig chassis. I never built it. Yeah, Toxicity. Beat the Creek found a set of 1.9 and 2.2 Spider Pig rings and Land Anchor from Andrew. Yeah. Man, I'm not spawned on how that's going together. Steven Blacklisted RC. That's some of their stuff on the website. Try not to break this thing. I feel like the inside ring should be glued. Maybe it's supposed to, but I don't know. Those are all good. That's glued on there pretty good. Nice, that wheel's done. Let's see, got any more of these? That's done enough. Well, that one's still pretty soft. Stupid glue. I just glued that one again. Yep, needs to dry. Still got dry too. Jeez. Might leave those there to dry. For some reason, they're still tacky, not really set. Well, guys, that's going to be the end of my night. It is 11:47. So thank you everybody for hanging out. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down, and then hopefully, if I work a little bit more this week, later in the evenings, I'll have everybody together, or I'll have it back on, and everybody can come hang out and just build or whatnot. I know we had a steady 13, 12 to 14, something like that, people. So I appreciate everybody that comes and hangs out. Not like it was super eventful or super exciting, but if you remember, I'm going to try to do these a little bit more often now that we kind of got this all set back up here on the workbench and all that. So if you guys can think of questions while you're out and about, write them down or something like that, and the next time I go live, ask them, and I'll try to preview some of the stuff we got coming down the pipeline if I can. I can't give out too much information, but we've got some really cool stuff coming. Warlocks are going to be back in stock shortly. We're waiting for skids to come in. We've got more link kits and such. We might even get some axles and all that in and be able to sell them fully ready to run if you'd like that way also. So thank you guys so much for all the love and support. I'll see you guys next time.